Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. This is the Norwich University Shock Platoon at Tulane back in 2020, their exhibition performance. So let's get started with a critique. So a big phasing issue with the feet there coming in. And not eye-grabbing to from the first, but then we have the always outstanding rifle work of the Shock Platoon. What's really nice about Tulane, when I went there to judge, I was able to see these big grassy fields with the homes around, and it was just a really nice atmosphere. So big timing issue, and I think that was probably because the commander is so far away, talking to the or reporting in to the judge, but then the team is just has wind, voices in the opposite direction. So having the team so far away, I think, was detrimental for that and led to that timing issue there. Now, usually, teams that split up so far are going to have a big timing issue, but they don't, which is surprising, honestly. It shows an extensive amount of practice. And still, the timing really is quite good, even with the rifle work. Now you can see some variation of technique with bending at the waist, bending the knees at certain points. So I've said this before in other videos. What is the point in being in different groups of three? How does that enhance? Besides the fact that the team is so separated, and yet keeping keeping timing, how does that facilitate the performance? Now, that is an excellent idea as far as forming the long line, the company front here. That was great. It from the front, the alignment almost doesn't matter as the team's backing up and moving forward at the same time. So but from the side, it was quite a bit of alignment issues there, which really isn't that big of a factor, as I said, when viewed from the front, which is really the direction that they're performing to. So as far as individual responsibilities are concerned, there's some variation there, and a bit of a lack of understanding. Love the separation there with the spin. That really worked well. I'd love to see this from the front and see what it looks like. Backing into position, almost a bit of a scatter type of drill to form the plus sign here. Really was intriguing. So how will the team use the formation? That just makes my knees hurt at 58 years old. But they handled it quite well. Uniformity of the team was kneeling and then turning around. That shows training, it shows stamina. So an inner circle with expanded outer bands, you could say here. How is this going to play out? Now, as far as commander integration, I noticed her earlier. You could see just coming into frame a little while ago. With the deep knee bend movements that the whole team was performing earlier, and it just doesn't fit with the commander. Armed with a sword, so I'm starting to talk more and more about commander integration. So the separation, again, big separation with a small core in the middle there. The team really didn't use the positions. Honestly, it's more of a display of how the team can maintain timing and yet be at such an extensive split. So what's the purpose behind it then? What's the purpose of this of this formation as well? So commanders with rifles can integrate better with the team. Commanders with a sword don't integrate well. And the commander performing the same types of movements then while holding the sword, it comes across as odd. So this formation here, especially as a final formation, a report out formation, there's very little power in it at all, positioning wise. There's all kinds of variations of wedges. If your judge is here, you have a wedge towards the judge. You have a wedge away from the judge. You have the commander at the point here, or you have the commander at the point here, or in the middle, or you have, and I can't do it with my fingers necessarily, but you have different lines of a wedge that show that have the use of windows offsetting the individuals like this here, and then you have the lines that go back kind of like this, if you can imagine that. I know finger use is not exactly my forte as far as explaining drill and ceremonies, but this just doesn't. This has This has a complete lack of power. So the rifle work is there. That's great. The marching isn't. The formation here is, like I was saying earlier, and I wasn't even watching the time. I didn't see that it was almost time for the performance to end. But we have this formation here at the beginning for the. There we go. There's a picture of the team so far away from the commander, and then the judge here. Why? Your audience is here. Your audience is the judge. Now, whether there is one judge or 100 people in stands in front of you, it doesn't matter. You need to execute a powerful stance, which you have. That's perfect. You even had the voice of the huh coming in. That's great, but you're so far away, it just loses. The communication just dwindles. Is over the area there. It's just much too far away. And then here, the team is so spread out, but just in 3 lines. The front and the rear line, and that's it. There's really no substance there as far as the formation is concerned. And then twice you have a separation, a big separation, which was impressive as far as timing goes. But then you have another separation. So why? What's really going on? The rifle work, the shock platoon always has great rifle work. It really is just it's entertaining to watch, and that's great. I love that. It's such a pleasure to see them perform. However, this drill has very little to offer. It's if you've seen my you can see my article on the different levels of drill and how they all really need to match over time. With experience and training and practice, you get to have them all level out. So here we have rifle work, we have body work, and then we have drill. And so rifle work for the shock platoon way up here at the advanced level. But then we have body work down here at the low intermediate level. And drill is almost at the high beginning level, honestly. And I don't say that just flippantly, but you had the drill really has very little to offer. In a couple of different places, it looks really good, but then it just kind of disappears into a big scatter. It's as if the writer or writers, really designers, didn't have a lot of time to work on a more complicated drill set. And so this was interesting to watch this develop, but then it's just a big movement into a big separation, and then again coming together, but then a movement into a big separation. So it lacks as far as drill is concerned. There's a big imbalance with the rifle work here, and then body work, and then even drill coming down even lower. So that imbalance really doesn't communicate well with the audience as far as the audience appreciating and understanding what's going on. Anybody who's familiar with drill and ceremonies is going to go, hey, nice job. Anybody who's part of Norwich, whether an alum or a parent or just a fan, really, also going to stand there and clap and say, hey, well done. And so will I. That was a fine performance. However, there are some issues there that really need to be addressed in order to make a more effective performance, and that's what we're all about, is making effective performances, not just throwing something together and walking out on the on the field. Not to say that this was just thrown together and everybody walked out there. But soloists will do that constantly. They'll just, they have a certain knowledge of rifle spinning, and they'll be able to go out and put something together on the fly. Some who do it really well, or who spin really well, can put something together that quickly. The drill team can't do that. But this just really does lack in drill. And it's a shame that it's not balanced out enough to be more productive. Anyway, so I hope my comments are helpful. Thank you.